you hear music?
I hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you?
I do. All right. Do some sharing with the Karens.
It comes right up on a new machine. Happy Thursday.
So you got it up there? I never believe that it's
red
actually.
light means it's going.
I know. I just always have to look at it and see it online. Did you go to the Kirby's?
Yes, it's on the Kirby's.
So the music you're listening to.
Oh, here we are, right there.
Cool, I got it.
Yeah, let me share it with my personal page. Woohoo!
The music you are listening to is actually from The Ravages of Time. It was a band that Kate and I were in Orange
No, really?
County back in the day. You guys out there listening, please let us know if you hear any crazy distortions.
I don't hear it over here.
Cool. We have someone with us. And I'll try not to breathe heavy. I have this thing where. So, how's everybody? I have Christian Diver with us today. Hey, Christian, how are you?
Doing great. How
Good
are you
Shed
guys?
Studios in the house, ladies and gentlemen. We're
Heyo.
so excited to be here. TNL, Thursday Night Live. My beautiful wife, Kate, right here next to us, styling the TNL shirts, which you can get one of these shirts for a low cost.
We don't have any more.
I
This is
just
We're gone.
lied to you. You cannot any longer
It's
get
going
these
to cost you more
shirts.
now.
Yes, we have to put in special order to have these specially made. If you want to come by the studio here in Big Sandy, we can custom fit you for a TNL shirt.
He is such
Now-
a liar. Just a liar.
The minutia that we have here has nothing to do with what the show is about today. We're not playing any music right now.
We're gonna play music. It's just gonna be recorded.
Well, we're gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on here locally. Number one, thanks Christian for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I know when you have a studio, you kind of get into a hamster wheel, and a lot of times people don't let you out long enough to go and say, "Hey, I'm over here doing this. I want to let everybody know."
I feel like I disappeared.
I still hear. Would you stop that music at all?
Sure will.
Yeah, stop it. Like on the keyboard.
Oh yeah, okay.
Press the space bar.
All right,
Thank you.
backseat driver.
Yeah, I disappeared, and I haven't seen anybody except for my family and my new baby.
Well, yeah,
It's not a baby anymore.
I've
It's a
seen.
toddler.
I haven't seen you in a minute, and
been
we
a
get
long time.
together, and I'm like, "So you have a new baby?" And you're like, "Yeah,
2
2
years
years
old."
ago."
It
Andrew,
goes so
are you
fast.
are you my friend, or are you just acting
No.
like?
Well, like you said, the most recent post that I made was when he was itty bitty.
Yeah.
He was a month old.
Yeah. So now that's a great question. So if you don't know who we're talking to, this is Christian Dybert. He owns Good Shed Studio, and you guys are in Tyler,
Canton.
Canton. Okay, I wasn't sure where you were located.
Just an itty bitty piece off I-20.
Well, that's great because you're closer to Dallas, so you can get some of that Dallas business, and you get some of this lovely Piney Woods business.
You know, like I'm right off of Highway 19, so people when they come see me, they get to drive 75 on I-20 and 70 to me, and it's just
It's a breeze.
Get it.
Sounds nice.
Get it.
Well, tell us a little about yourself, Christian.
Yeah. Why studio? I mean, what brought you into one?
I didn't mean to, guys. I really didn't mean to.
Studio by accident.
Yeah.
It chose you.
Yeah, God, what's just the summary? When my daughter was 3 months old, this is back in 2007, my wife and my daughter moved to California, and I didn't know anybody out there. I was just
Where did-
kind of
where
left
did you guys
twiddling my
go?
thumbs, Riverside.
Okay.
And so I started playing guitar again, and then I was like, hey, well, I got this new computer, and here's GarageBand, and so let's record my electric guitar acoustically through the built-in condenser microphone and see what that does. And that's where it all began.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it all came about because I was trying to record and just be creative with my own stuff, and then the more I did it, the more I realized I liked being on the other side of the microphone,
Yeah.
and I let everybody else do that part.
That's it's cool that you say that. I think as a creative type, a lot of us that are creatives feel like we can do a whole lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you have the ability to do all those things really doesn't mean you have the true capability of being able to do all those things at once. And, maybe I know how to plug in the wires to record, but it's so much easier when if I'm playing that somebody else is turning the
Yeah.
knobs.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
tough. It's tough if you try to do it yourself.
Well, it's just tricky recording to begin with. Like the pressure of like, oh man, I have to play this song the best I've ever played it, and how many times have I played it? And so like, what are the odds? It's not going to happen that way, guys. It doesn't happen that way. So don't put the pressure on yourself.
There you go. There
It
you
doesn't
go.
have to be that way.
The wisdom.
But like if you have somebody else tending to all of that, you can at least somewhat focus on your part. I need to
Mhm.
play right now. I don't need to do all of the things and then let me pick up the guitar and stop it and like turn around. But that's fine for trying to like get ideas down. Do
Yeah,
that.
Well,
scratch
I think
tracks,
so.
for sure,
If you're DIY in the early part, whenever you're getting your business or your mind, or I mean your business like your music or
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're doing, when you're learning it, yeah, use what you can. In fact, I try to tell everybody to try and find something that's not so complicated. Because of all the platforms, it can get kind of, your head can kind of swim. Which kind of brings me to this. So, if musicians are gonna record, as they're all different flavors and all different scales and levels of where they're at. What do you recommend for somebody that maybe they've got their songs and they're ready to go? Where do they start?
You can never be over rehearsed.
Good point.
I God, the biggest the like whenever somebody hits me up about recording and they especially if they haven't ever done it before, you hit some high points and you're like, "All right, do you know what tempo you like the song at?" Well, I haven't thought about that. Do you ever play with a metronome? No. The last place you want to learn how to do that is inside of the studio while you're recording.
Well, yeah. Don't you charge people by the hour?
I mean, that's how it goes down. So like you if you want to pay to learn how to do that, I mean that's a thing, but it's
That's
so
a thing.
it's so easy to just do it on your own, and once
Yeah.
you've developed once you start to get integrated with that process, then that's one last thing that you have to think of whenever you go to actually record. You don't want you want to try and eliminate all roadblocks. Like I said earlier, you want to give the best possible take that you can, and trying to learn something on the fly like how to play with the click track is not you're definitely not going to get it that way.
It can be really soul sucking
Mm-hmm.
to
Demoralizing even.
yes to
Yeah.
not be able to perform when you've done it all the
Mhm.
time, and then you have this steady beat and you didn't even realize you weren't steady. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of the metronome as my personal drummer that's in my phone that I can use whenever I want.
Make friends with the
Yeah.
metronome.
Make friends with the
And
metronome.
if you
Mhm.
can groove with the metronome, you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing too is like, if you sit down to write a song, you're not normally just like singing by yourself.
Yeah.
You're playing music at the same
right,
time.
right.
And if you've written a song, you're not really just playing whatever instrument, you're singing and playing at the same time. But it's not a bad idea to learn how to just play or just
Mhm.
sing your
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
because when it comes to vocal day, you're going to have to just sing. So there's it pulls emotion out of you whenever you're playing the instrument and singing at the same time. There's like, you can kind of catch the muse a little bit and find your flow state, and you need to be able to kind of tap into that stuff without the guitar in your hand or without your hands on the keys. You need to be able to give that emotional performance just singing
right.
or just playing.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's a
what I
tricky
mean.
thing that people don't think about a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, so you can do all these things, but you can't do them simultaneously. So and that's exactly where I'm at right now. It's like I need someone else to turn the knobs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I need someone else to say you sounded flat here when you're singing, or it's
Or it just wasn't there. Like if you,
yeah, do it again.
yeah, try it again.
you know,
You know.
how many times have you said that? Again.
Hey, do you want to just a couple more times? Just a couple more
Just-
times. You never
Yeah.
want to say it's the last time because that's never going to be
No.
the best track. If you
That's
say
true.
just one more time.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
never it.
that's a nail in the coffin,
Mhm.
isn't it? Yeah.
But there's also a thing too, like you asked earlier, what do you do when you come in? Like what's the best way to approach that? If and I said, you can't be over rehearsed. If you come in well rehearsed, then you can give the first couple of takes are always going to be more emotional, and the more takes
Mhm.
you give, it might technically be getting more correct, but it sucks the life out of it. So
Mhm.
there's like a sweet spot there where it's technically you're doing what you should, and you've got conviction behind what you're doing too. And
I'm
so
a 3 take or no.
yeah, I mean
That's
a
my
rule of
personal
3, like
thing.
I
If I've gone 6 times, I'm gonna take a break.
yeah, and by the time you take a break, now you got to get back into
Right, you gotta
it
get your
too.
vibing.
So like yeah, you if you can come in well rehearsed, knowing exactly what you need to do, and put it out of your mind for a little while.
What?
Your phone volume's up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Sorry. Nobody else hopefully can hear that but me. What were you saying, Christian, when I
Sorry,
was
Christian.
rudely interrupted you?
So we just kind of do what we do here. We hope everybody's okay with that. Christian, what
These
were
are
you?
nuggets of gold.
I know. I'm sitting here going, man, this is cool.
Well, we got to hear it again because of the delay.
That was it.
It's just on repeat.
So positive, Christian.
You got to be.
He's positive we're weird. I'll tell
We
you
are
that.
weird.
Hey, that's
but-
why we like you guys.
So I don't want to move on from what you're saying because
No, 'cause it's golden nuggets.
it's real important. So what we were talking about, if I can refresh where we are, is what you need to do before you get into a studio, with so that when you get there, your hourly doesn't become your problem.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
Because
know.
I mean, if a band came in and cut a whole album in 5 hours and everything was great, and now we just need to mix it, cool. I mean, you're paying me for my time. Like, you get to do whatever you want to with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset that I didn't get to charge you however much a song because you did it efficiently.
Yeah.
That's your reward that you
Wow.
didn't have to spend as much
Yeah.
money as somebody else. That's the only thing that you can really control before you go into a studio. You can't control what your mental state's going to be that day. You can't control what things were going on in your life, but you can control how prepared you are before you walk in.
Mm.
You can pull up. Everybody's got a phone. You can pull it up and hit record. Listen back to it. Be objective. Be honest with yourself. Is this arrangement good? I mean, like, it's fine to play around with arrangements once you've kind of rough tracked everything out.
Yeah.
But like,
If you got the bones, it's okay to do that, but you got to get those bones first,
yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, like little things like that, they go pretty quick, so it's not too hard to deal with. But, you don't want to try and make your song better, arrangement wise, melody wise, all of
Right.
that stuff.
No, that song's
after
got to be
you're
good.
in the studio.
Yeah, it's got to be good before you get there.
Yeah,
right?
put in
But-
you put in the work beforehand.
But sometimes you get a little inspiration.
But there's plenty
Happy-
of room for that if
happy
you've done
accidents.
all of the
Right.
prep work.
Happy
Yeah.
accidents
Mhm.
are okay, right?
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's when you get people in a room together, different things happen than if you're just like off on your own.
Yeah.
But if you're fighting with trying to perform well with the metronome, if you're
Right.
fighting with this arrangement feels kind of flat, like I feel like we're missing something. You've got how many hours, how many days, months before walking in to try and record it to sort that kind of stuff out. There's plenty of time to do it beforehand, and then once you get in there, that's when these things you have more time to accommodate these happy accidents.
Right.
And like, well, let's explore. We know we want to do something here. We're not exactly sure what, but we've allotted this amount of time to do something interesting. Ideas like
Mhm.
there's always fun stuff that happens when you make space for it, and there's plenty of time for that when you're being efficient with the other things that you do.
That's cool.
And you don't have to get too deep into your pocketbook to get to those things.
So, Chris, you recently, how long ago we got a recording that we had that we're going to play, and we're going to ask you a couple of questions about it. It was when Chris and Meredith was this the Mean Streak his album, or is this just Meredith Crawford? I'm not sure.
No.
Or is
I
it
mean, like
Meredith
it's
and the
under
Mean-
Meredith Crawford,
Okay.
but yeah, no. I mean, it was the Gaffords and
Okay.
Rasco and Meredith.
It's the normal crew all
Mhm.
on the album.
Well, and on that one, we have a gentleman who there was a guy who was a band director that played the horns. He
Oh,
did that.
Oh, that's right. You had a
did
bunch
that
of
on his own.
musicians come in on that album.
Coach came and played some keys on it. There's
Cool.
there's a guy in out in the Nashville area.
Coach with 10 Travis, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a guy out in the Nashville area that's a killer keys player, and he did the organ solo and some of the
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff on that.
bad
Um,
solo.
but
So
yeah,
and bad as in good. I mean sick
Oh,
as in
nice.
wonderful.
So did you
Yeah.
have a question from somebody on the
I
web?
do. Chris Gafford would like to say that I still sometimes hear the Met in my sleep.
That's good.
It's a private
Some sort
studio
of
joke.
inside
Yes.
joke. Lovers.
It's always playing. It's always playing.
I love you, Chris.
Yes.
And Chris. Whoa, it's like Chris squared.
Okay. I'm having a 7-minute
Okay,
abs
all right.
moment.
So
Okay.
let's play.
Yeah, we want to play this
play
track
this song.
recorded at Good Shed.
And Chris and Meredith hope y'all are listening. We just play it from the beginning or what?
Sure.
Yeah, man.
It slaps.
It's so cool. I can't hear it. Ooh. So cool.
Looks kinda like an old grocery store. You can walk out rich if you come in poor. It was drunk on the curb and now here it sits. People gonna toss what they just can't fix. I've been searching, nothing's working. But as soon as I don't try, I get a thrift store fine.
absolutely love that. I absolutely
too.
love that.
Wow.
Me
I
too.
mean, I'm thinking this is layers from the 70s, the 80s. I hear like influences like Herb Albert and like I'm serious.
Yes, dude.
It's just such a cool thing to hear all the different layers. And let me tell you, when when you begin to record and you're putting all of these pieces in, everything has to have a part
It has to have its
and a
home
location.
in the mix.
So tell me where you began on. I mean, my goodness,
There's a
how
lot
many
there.
instruments do we have going?
There's so many tracks. I did.
Wow, I'm just saying.
I got lucky on that one.
Congratulations,
I got lucky
kids.
on
That
one.
is an awesome song. We
Yeah.
dig it.
You know, Meredith and Chris, they were the ones that threw all of the production ideas out. I mean, I got to have my say in a few things, but for the most part, that's all them and the people that they trusted to play the parts. Like we were speaking about off camera, finding your place. What are you best at? Like, what do you do well?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously in music, yeah, I'm really good at playing this instrument or that instrument, or on the other side of it, like, oh, I can edit really well in the program, or I can capture things well. I'm good at mic placement and things like that. But picking the right person for the job goes a long way, and they picked good people to do what they did on that song, and it
Yeah.
shows.
The arrangement is incredible. I mean, we're familiar with the song with just Meredith and Chris.
Right.
Well,
playing.
as simple as just
And
Meredith
then
and Chris. Yeah.
Mhm.
The whole band, Mean Street playing it.
Mhm.
But when you add the organ and the horns and all of the
The
layers,
layers, man. Yeah.
it takes it to a whole. I mean, it's 9-dimensional.
It does, but that's not to say that how do you make your song great? We'll just keep throwing stuff at it.
No.
No,
Don't
that
do that.
ruins most songs.
Yeah, don't do
In
that.
this one, it works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got lucky with that one.
Yeah.
But like
they had
there
a
was,
vision, though, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a
They
thrift
did.
store.
They did. And with each layer that we put on it, we kept being like, "Oh my God, this is sounding really cool." And then, like, the day that we got the horn tracks from the gentleman that played it, he recorded it himself
Sure.
and sent it in. He's like, "I can come out there, guys, but like you're like over an hour away. Let me just do it."
isn't that a beautiful thing
It
nowadays?
is
love
nice to be able to
technology.
drop it in, and you're like, "You killed it, man. You
Yeah.
killed it."
Wow.
Same
Yeah.
thing with the guy that sent the organ tracks in. Like, he lives far away, and he sent us this. He was like, "I really enjoy this song,
Such a different world.
and here's what I did." Plop
Yeah.
it in, and you're like, "Okay, that's it. That's everything we need."
I love
There
it.
it is.
That's fantastic. So that opens up a whole other group of business for you, because you don't have to be in East Texas to work with you.
That's actually
necessarily.
one of the things that I wanted to ask too. Was what is your favorite kind of production to do? I mean, what kind of business does Good Shed Studio want?
I want people that are passionate about making music. I really don't care what genre it is. Yeah, I've got my preference, but like as long as you like do your thing with conviction, like I'm there for it.
Mm.
Like, do that.
Cool.
Don't try and pander. Do something that means
Mm.
something to you. If you want to write a song that everybody likes, write a song that you like.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and write something that you think somebody else is going to
Yeah,
like.
do your art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way to write something that's going to resonate with somebody else. I mean, like whenever somebody's talking to you and they're trying to say the things that they think you want to hear, you can hear that
You can
that's
hear that's
disingenuous,
fake.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just have some conviction and put emotion behind it, and that's gonna make your song better. That's the best way to get a good song.
Man.
We were talking earlier about performances while you're in the studio and capturing the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cold space usually.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah,
there's
it's
no.
sterile.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no audience back at you.
Mm-mm.
There's no usually. There's no sound reverberating in the room because you don't want that when you record. You wanna
That's
put
why
that
live
after.
albums are so special.
But
Mhm.
I do.
And really, they're crappy most of the time. I'm sorry. I mean, am I
like
right?
sonically,
I mean,
it could be
it's-
tricky.
I mean, it's really just capturing the moment of man. Yeah, I remember seeing Journey, and that was live, or whatever.
It's never the same. But what I was trying to say
I'm
was,
sorry.
and we can go off on that tangent if you want to. But I was
That
trying
is.
to say that being comfortable with the person that you're working with in the
Mhm.
studio, so that they can help
Oh,
you
yeah.
get to the mental place that you need to be.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then having a little bit of like you said, practice in a cold space without an audience giving you that feedback so that you can pull from deep down, because that's where you have to pull from to make a great performance.
Yeah.
I listened to some vocal only tracks from Michael Jackson back in the day when he was making Thriller. And those performances were
You hear all this,
incredible.
you know.
I don't care about that. What I'm
It's
talking
awesome.
about is,
No, you're right.
I mean, you could have released those by themselves. You know what I mean? It was just that level of, I'm going to give it everything I have. And I think when you were talking about play your instrument part and do your vocal part separately, be ready for that in the studio. That's also part of that performance is I can give, when I'm usually playing bass or guitar when I'm playing live, if I'm in the studio, I can give my vocal 100%. And I still don't think I've actually captured that yet. I'm still working toward capturing that performance, but it's so freeing to not have to be holding down the bass part or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
But it can be really, really tricky if you've never done that. Like if you've written your song on the side of your bed or couch and you're always guitar in hand singing the lyrics, you don't. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
As soon as you don't have an instrument, and what do I do? What do I do?
It's the truth.
It's true.
It's
It
totally
is so
the
true.
truth.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, cool. We've been with Christian Dybert here from Good Shed Studio, and we just got through playing a Meredith Crawford tune that he did all of the production on there at the studio, and we were kind of dissecting his brain on the ideas of this, and we're very glad that he was able to join us today. Was there anything that that you've got coming? Some folks that you think you want to let everybody know, hey, they've got some good music coming out. Here's what's coming out of Good Shed.
Well, you asked me earlier, like, what music do I prefer to work with? What do I resonate or gravitate towards the most? There's some dudes, some younger guys. Matter of fact, the drummer just turned 18 a couple of months ago. They're doing some kind of like alt emo kind of stuff, like go back to mid 2000s.
Okay.
And
So give me some band ideas. I hate doing that, but
I mean, there's a little bit of like the band Brand New. Like maybe some like angstiness, like Taking Back Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So just not like full on punk or screamo or anything, but just think those.
It's crazy that that's already time for a throwback to
Yes,
the
I mean,
mid
it was
2000s.
over- it was
unbelievable.
almost 2 decades ago.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, out of high school, that's the stuff that I was listening to.
Yeah.
And these guys are doing stuff that was very similar to that without trying to like steal from those bands per se. I mean, it's fine. Do that though. Do that. Take the good stuff that people did and do it your own way.
really, you can't. I mean, I always make that joke. You can't do what I do. You're gonna do what you do. Now you may think you're doing what I do, but you're doing what you do.
That's it. Yeah.
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 So,
But
anyway.
that all of the best songs usually were derived from inspiration that came from somebody else who did something great.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it just stacks
absolutely.
on top of each other again and again and
Absolutely.
again.
Yes.
Let them learn the lessons and take the high points and apply it to your own music.
That's a great
That's
tip.
the lesson to learn.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the name of these guys?
Orange Noise.
Orange
Oh,
Noise.
I've wanted to see them.
I've had a lot of fun working with them. They're like I said, they're a younger group, but they got their stuff together and they're passionate about what they do. Like I said, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You got to deliver
Nice.
emotional performances.
I agree.
And we're working on we're gonna have a 5-song EP that comes out, and then we're gonna jump into some other stuff. But
Awesome.
it feels it's the vibe. It passes the vibe check. It feels appropriate for what
When
type
you
of music they're
when
playing.
you allow someone in to work with, whether or not it's a band or you're the engineer or whatever, you really have to like two things. And for me, I really need to like the music, and I really need to like the person that I'm working with, because you're beginning to show each other things where you're going to be vulnerable,
Mhm.
where each of you could just totally berate one another, whereas if you know each other and you like each other and respect each other, then you can grow from that experience.
Mhm.
So, and it's been really cool to have you here and to hear about what you go through, in your studio in your part of the world. And I thanks so much
Absolutely.
for being
Yes.
here. We kind of wanted to go over a little bit for the music hall real quick. Anything that you want to remind anybody other than October 14th?
October 14th is coming up, and that is Joe B. Drew's birthday weekend. And
Hope
so,
you can make it. I don't know if you can make it. But
He told me about it. I love
Okay.
Jopie, and I love birthdays,
all right.
and I love you guys. So,
Hey,
it sounds
wow,
like a
it's
good time to me.
triple threat.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So everybody's invited, and we are going to celebrate his birth year, which scares me because I think Andy and I were the only people alive in 1982, other than Jopie was born.
Well, thanks for reminding me.
But anyway, it'll be fun. And so
1982. with Joe B. Drew.
1982, the music of 1982. And so Andy and I are going to play, and then Chris Rasco and Meredith Crawford are going to play. Jopie, of course, is going to play, and I think he's going to play a little bit with his son, which is always a fun
Yeah,
thing to
his
see.
son is
Super
really
talented.
good,
Super
yeah.
talented guy. Yeah,
And I think Owen
Owen
Tyner.
Tyner's going to be there too, and so we're going to have it. And what usually happens when we do a tribute show like that up here is we all do our version of whatever cover we're doing, and then we do some originals because we always want to celebrate our original music up here as well. So
Yeah.
it'll be a fun time. But yeah, come ready to celebrate eminent Reese's Pieces and Joe B. Drew
Oh yeah. Totally.
and our Pac-Man.
Yeah.
all the
Reese's
stuff that came out in
Pieces,
1982.
Yeah. E.T.
Batman come out in '82.
It
all
sure
those
did.
all those amazing
E.T.
arcade games
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Galaga.
Love it.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna have a good time. So that's our first concert opening again after we have been shut down, since the pandemic. So we haven't been open yet. So
That's
this is
right.
it.
This
We're
is
opening.
This is a big time for us. We're real excited to get the building back open.
I'm terrified no one will show up. So please come out. Throwing a big party.
Remember us, please.
I want you to come out.
That
Yeah.
tends to happen no matter what you do. You throw a party and you're just like, is anybody gonna make it? And but then you get these little
Oh.
ducks. Hey, did I tell you that we started our club called the Gladdy Laddies? Yes, we did. Kate and I, we got a Jeep, and Bobby Cole and his beautiful wife Tracy, they got a Jeep too, and they're gladiators, and so we started the Gladdy Laddies, and we're working on a concert that's coming up. Is it
In January.
in January?
Mhm. We got
And,
concerts between October 14th and January, so please
know
go
what?
to thekirbysmusic.com, click on Music Hall, you'll see
Totally.
everything that's going on.
We've got everything on online, like she just said. But we did create a Facebook for the Gladdy Laddies, and
You already rescued somebody on the side of the road that
we
had
did.
car trouble.
this poor man was pulled perpendicular into the middle of
I thought he
the
was-
street,
yeah.
and we were going
Bad.
like this, and I guess his transmission went out. So Bobby was like, zzz, and I pulled in behind him, like two superheroes, and we pushed him off the road. I got a quick picture in there, to show the Gladdy Laddies are here to rescue. Actually, I've driven Jeep since I was like 15 or 16. I just always loved them, and I thought, the things that I like are Jeeps, cool music, being in the outdoors, and what can we do maybe to have another reason to get together and eat and have a
Music.
show,
Yeah.
So I thought, well,
To the
we'll
Jeep
invite
Club.
all of the Jeep clubs and hope everybody loves the Gladdy Laddies. And anyway, poor promotion there, self-promotion for my stupid Jeep
Well,
club.
yeah, of course. That's fine. So
But-
how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to record at Good Shed?
You are welcome to send me a message through Instagram or Facebook, Good Shed Studio.
Perfect.
On my Facebook page, there's a number that you can call me. I would prefer that. I don't really ever get on social media anymore.
He's too busy editing.
I limit myself
And,
to
and raising
once
a
day.
toddler.
Yeah.
He's my little buddy. We're doing stuff.
You've got a
That's
mini
awesome.
me, man. That is so cool.
He's awesome. The other two kids are awesome too, but they're teenagers now, so they don't like to hang out as much.
You don't get much time, huh?
Hopefully you get them mowing the yard, and
Chores.
They,
whatnot.
they're great. Don't take it the wrong way. But little guy's my buddy.
Yeah, he's with you, man.
He loves going over to the studio too. He said whenever we were doing the Gospel Mountain stuff, with
Oh, by the
Meredith
way,
and-
Oh yeah.
did you guys dig that?
Dude,
Totally.
we so
Hey,
did.
you know, so we were talking about everybody getting together and recording all at once. That was all same room. They gave like 2, sometimes 3 takes of each song, and that's what it was. Like we overdubbed leads, but that was the performance.
that was
So,
fantastic.
just
I really
just
enjoyed
for those of us that do record, did you just throw a really killer room mic?
Okay,
and go
well,
for it,
I did a room mic in the center. We played in the round.
Yeah.
But no, we had everybody had like a 57 or a 58 on their vocal,
Both.
and then mic'd up. You know, used Joby with the upright bass. We had
Yep.
the
Yeah.
DI on that, but I also threw like a ribbon mic on there to kind of fill it out. And
It's always
the
good.
acoustics, we had a DI on those, but also like had some condensers on those.
It was really inspirational. We really loved to listen to it.
It was a
Mhm.
blast.
Yeah.
But little man hung out for a little bit of that, and he had a shaker, and he was just enjoying it. But yeah, he's
He's
my little studio buddy.
2-year-old,
Mhm.
and he's playing the drums and guitar.
Yeah,
solo.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he keeps that kid going too. Was
So
doing
tell
all
me
the
you
other
bought
stuff.
him like tiny little.
He's got some time. When we went to Guitar Center, I said, "Hey, do you have any like smaller sticks for like kids?" And they're like, "Yes, we have just the thing." And so we got him 2 pair because I knew we'd lose at least 1 stick.
Sure.
And but he hasn't lost one yet. We're going on like
Wow.
several
What are
months.
they
now.
like? Like
Wow.
No,
6 inches or
yeah, maybe like 10.
little nylon
10 or
tips
so.
and stuff?
I kind of want
They're
some.
a little smaller diameter.
Yeah.
Was it Big Firth?
Probably.
I think. But yeah, they're painted blue. They've got a little wooden tip. They're so
Great.
cute.
I love
He
it,
just tears it up.
man.
That's awesome.
Well, it's been a good show, man.
Yes, thank you so much, Christian.
Hey, I
Thank
enjoyed
you
it,
for
guys.
being here. Yeah.
I've messed with podcasts a lot. Having to build templates or record podcasts. I say a lot, not a lot, but way more than I've been on podcasts. So here we are. This is my inaugural run. Thanks for having me out, guys. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And, I look forward to working with you. I think there'll be things that we'll do in the future.
I'm
So-
just surprised that it hasn't happened yet, but
Yep.
we've definitely hung out, so that's
Yeah.
a start.
We did it.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
thanks everybody for watching. We will see you next Thursday when we will have something interesting to watch and listen to. We don't know what it is yet.
Thanks again. And
We do, but I don't remember what it is.
there's things coming. Just
It's traveling.